our third and final topics are kind of related to each other. They kind of revolve around Kathleen Kennedy and Rogue Squadron. So I see that we've lost Alex here real quick. I'll go and kind of talk about this. But this is the first. This article kind of details. It kind of details
Oh my
Kathleen
God, where are
Kennedy's.
the red eyes at? Where are the red glowy eyes at?
I don't know. It kind of details Kathleen Kennedy's poor job with Lucasfilm and directorial changes. Now, granted, she is one of the greatest producers of all time. She has been behind some of my childhood favorite films. So yeah, I got to give her credit as due. But I think this article does a good job of highlighting the problems we've had. Okay, here we go. The Force Awakens.
Listen. She works better as a producer, not as the president of the shit.
Oh, absolutely, 100% agree. And
She does not work.
This list right here.
Exactly. Well, I don't think we need to go through all of it. Okay, like
No, we don't. But we'll highlight the big ones. Gareth Edwards, like
wait, hold
he
on.
couldn't even.
I like how they went through all the movies, but Last Jedi isn't up there.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
I know, bro. That means she's good. Like,
And that's the most controversial. Like Lord and Miller, like were fired. Gareth Edwards literally was like shut out of the editing room. Trevorrow was like creative differences. Rogue Squadron now is delayed. We'll get into that. Kenobi's had a plethora of issues. It was delayed, and then COVID further delayed it. We had a Boba Fett film that never happened. A Kenobi film that never happened. Benioff and Wise.
Okay, but to be fair, a lot of these things that we are being told, like the Kenobi series or the Kenobi movie and the Boba Fett movie, I'm more happy that we got that they made the idea to make it shows instead of movies. So if they can't really flag that as a bad thing.
But I don't think the original plan was when they stopped happening to make it a show. I don't think that was now I could be wrong there. But I don't think that was the original plan. I just think that Disney Plus is a thing, so we'll do that. We'll do it on Disney Plus now after Mando got hot and stuff, and they always wanted to do something with Kenobi. So I don't think that was the original plan. I just think, Josh Trank was an idiot, of course. But then, like, they brought on the dude who's directing the new Indiana Jones. What's his name? James Mangold. And then he never, like, helmed it. It just, like... a lot of issues have happened. And then Rian Johnson's trilogy was announced in January of 2017. It is now Wednesday, November 17th of 2021. Almost 5 years later, nothing. He keeps saying he's working on it. Maybe, but it's been 5 years and we haven't had an announcement on it yet, an update. That's a cause for concern. Just the directorial aspect, she does a terrible job with. And, listen, she got a 3-year extension. She did a great job with Mando. She put the right people in place. I think, with the new movies. Taika, Patty Jenkins. I hope that movie happens. So, I don't know. She got an extension. It is what it is. I don't love her, and I don't hate her. I just think it's fair to critique her.
Yeah, I think here's the thing is I think she's doing a lot of good, but she's doing a lot of bad also. Let me say this also. She's doing a lot of really good, like with Mando, but she's consistently bad. It's consistent. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the situation with Kathleen Kennedy. She is a better producer than she is president, and I honestly. Like, here's the thing: is I'm not someone who's like, oh, Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau should take. No, like keep those people in creative and whatnot, but like get someone else. Literally, someone else.
Absolutely. She could stay on as a producer. I wouldn't mind that.
Stay on as an executive producer. Stay on as whatever, but like, don't stay or like don't be the president. Stop making those decisions.
Right. And to your point about Favreau not becoming the studio executive. The people over at Pixar, I know 2 of them that worked at Pixar that were studio executives, but they also were a part of the creative process. They helped with movies and stuff. I wouldn't mind if they stuck John in the studio executive chair, but he also still worked on projects and stuff when he could.
Sure.
He kind of runs it like an executive with Mando. Like he dishes out the director role, he dishes out the writing role. Like the episodes are written sometimes by Rick Famuyiwa, Dave Filoni. They've been written by a multitude of different people and obviously directed by a multitude of different people. So I think he could do the job. I don't want him to do the job. I would rather they just threw a no name in there who's already been a studio exec or a high up. Again, if I'm Lucasfilm, my thought process with this is it's just a comfortable decision. We're staying with something familiar. We can't. They probably think, well, maybe we can't get much better. But at the same time, can you get any worse, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of a weird dilemma that they're in. But I want to just say I am really glad that the conversation has been online about her. I said this yesterday in a TikTok about her resume at Lucasfilm and not her political beliefs mostly. There's still the crazy people that care about her political beliefs. I don't care. I just care about the job she does as the executive over there. And I'm glad we're having the conversation about that and not her political views.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's a perfect segue into the Patty Jenkins thing. This came to us from Puck News, and Puck News is run by somebody who used to work at the Hollywood Reporter, so they have sources that are good, obviously, with the Hollywood trades. So it's reported that top filmmakers are dying to make a Star Wars movie until they sign on and experience the micromanagement and plot-by-plot committee process. Jenkins wasn't willing to dick around, and that was according to Puck News, again, who was run by somebody who worked at a Hollywood trade. Alex, do you have thoughts on this? As it was, I think we talked about last week, Patty Jenkins's Rogue Squadron being delayed indefinitely.
Doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at this point. Lucasfilm, yeah, we've heard stories that they micromanage a lot, but like it is getting out of control, and I think that it's going to be a problem. I think the movie's going to get canceled, and that's really concerning. I think what's really concerning is that we're probably not going to get the movie, so that means we're probably not going to get a movie till like what, 2024, 2025?
Yeah.
Really concerning considering the last Star Wars movie was almost 2 years ago.
Right, month. And if it's 2025, it'd be like a half a decade plus, be 6 years.
Yeah, and I don't know why they're wanting to do this. I don't know why. I don't know why Lucasfilm isn't noticing that there is a problem. But you know what? Lucasfilm can go off, okay? Do you, Lou? But
Lou.
Us fans are getting punished the most for this at the end of the day. So
absolutely.
That's my thoughts.
There's no transparency either. There's no clear communication that any of these projects are canceled, that they're delayed. There's no transparency. There's nothing. There's no clear, concise communication with us as fans. Listen, wherever you sit on the aisle with the Gina thing, there was no communication with that. I was just like, oh, she's gone. It's like, what? You could say, yeah, we're letting it go because of this and this. You didn't really defend John Boyega. You don't defend any of your actors. You know, with all the shit they have to deal with from awful people. And then and then this one is the one that gets me. You have Patty Jenkins at Disney Investor Day last year announce. You remember how excited we were? We'll get a Star Wars movie. We finally know what it is. It's Rogue Squadron. Patty Jenkins comes out with the life-size X-Wing, and she talks about how her father was a fighter pilot, and she's super ecstatic to do a story that honors her father within the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
And then less than a year later, you're telling me the project's delayed indefinitely because of creative differences? You didn't sit down with Patty Jenkins and have that discussion before you put that out on Investor Day about what the movie was going to be about? Are you serious? This is a repeated problem? Lord and Miller, you didn't have a conversation with them about what Solo was going to be about? Gareth Edwards, You didn't have a conversation with him what Rogue One was going to be about until, oh shit, we're almost done with production. A year out, may I mind you, a year out from that movie being released, and it's almost exclusively reshoots mostly. Um, Lord and Miller was solo. They just dropped in Ron Howard. It's just like it's so flabbergasting. It's infuriating as a fan because the shit doesn't happen at the other studio that you compete with, Marvel. How many times have we heard of like James Gunn? James Gunn was fired because he said some stupid things, and then they brought him back on.
Yeah.
But this doesn't happen at the other studio, and they make way more projects than you. Why does it happen? Why don't you have those conversations beforehand? Why? And what are they micromanaging? Like canon? Because that's always the problem, right? Because
Mhm.
you guys always fuck that up. I mean, look what you did with the Bad Batch. Everybody loved that canon comic that I've talked to, and then they feel like they got slapped in the face because you kind of replaced it. Now, for me, I enjoyed the Bad Batch in that, but like for somebody who read the shit, and then you got Pablo Hidalgo saying, like, "Oh, there's different interpretations, like a history book." Well, yeah, a history book has different interpretations. They don't change the entire event.
Yeah.
Okay, that's totally different. And again, like I said, I don't mind it, but I don't get it. I don't get why you
Yeah.
don't have these conversations with these people before you announce the project. And I agree with you, Alex. I think it gets canceled. And I'm glad this time that Lucasfilm decided not to replace her right away because I feel
Yeah.
like it'd be a slap in the face to her because it's a personal project.
Yeah.
And they delayed it. And hopefully this movie does happen, but I'm gonna say it doesn't because of the repeated pattern by Lucasfilm until they
Yeah.
change.
And honestly, I don't think we'll get a movie until Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Not a good one, at least. You have to think what stories what stories need movies that can't be told in TV series.
Well, there's still a lot of timeline out there that we don't know about. I mean, the Star
But
Wars universe is very
yeah,
thin.
you
It's very
gotta
fat with 60 years of,
yeah.
time. Yeah.
But here's my thing: is like I'm at the point right now, dude. I just don't want movies from Star Wars anymore. I just don't.
Really.
I would honestly, I wouldn't give a shit if we didn't get movies for the next like 30 years,
Why do you
and we
say that?
just and we just got TV series because if the TV series, I mean, let's do a little recap real fast on the major Disney Star Wars TV shows: Rebels, Mando, Clone
Clone
Wars
Wars season
season
7,
7, um, Bad
Bad Batch.
Batch. I mean, what? One of those wasn't good, and that was Bad Batch.
Well, Rebel season 1 isn't great in my opinion.
But I'm talking about Rebels as a whole.
Oh, right. Yeah, Bad Batch season, and that's not even horrible. It's okay. It's just
It's
okay.
mediocre at best. And like I would rather at least know I'm probably gonna get a good show out of it. Like probably
Right.
at least know I at least know I'm at least gonna get like a C grade show
Yeah.
instead
Oh,
of
we'll be
potentially
satisfied by it by the
yeah
end. Yeah.
instead of getting most likely a D grade movie.
Right. Or rush production like you've
Yeah.
done, or just
Or
dropping movies at the
yeah
wrong time, or
or terrible production, swapping directors, swapping writers. I would at least know I'm confident in the people creating it than not.
yeah, it's just and it's really upsetting to me too because Patty was so excited for this movie. And I think it's a really interesting concept, Alex, Rogue Squadron. Just focus on a pilot. Almost like Top Gun in space.
Yeah,
Maybe a rogue pilot you deal with. Maybe just like a rogue squadron. Obviously, it's gonna be. I'd like to see like her dad was a fighter pilot, obviously. So like the fear that maybe like the family, like you could go into depth about the pilot's family and the fear they face every day about him not coming home, the fear
yeah,
he or she or whoever is the lead of this movie feels. So that's disappointed to me. And I could probably tell you what Lucasfilm's micromanaging like doesn't fit into the canon.
yeah.
It's like, well, you can't make that work, really.
Yeah.
It's where creative differences are. Like you understood that Patty wanted to make a movie dedicated to her father, so it would be very personal to her. So if that's not fitting your mantra of wanting your movies to fit into canon, like why did you even do it in the first place? It's just very puzzling from a company who seems to make puzzling decisions over and over again. And like you said, for like we mentioned on Disney Plus Day, for a company who lives on Disney Plus, you don't do anything on that special day. And Star Wars, I don't think works as well as movies. I think they work better as TV shows, a lot better. So
better.
I think I agree with you. That's the avenue that they should maybe look forward to. You got anything else to say? All right, the question is for you guys. What do you think about Kathleen Kennedy's extension for 3 years over there at Lucasfilm, the Rogue Squadron drama? What do you think about that? Do you think we ever see that movie? Let us know down below.